from the virtual Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. It's the next round of the Northwest Truck Series here on LSR TV, your home of sim racing. As we get ready for 134 laps, 200 miles around Auto Club Speedway. I'm Wesley Outland, joined alongside is Greg Ranson. Greg, on your neck of the woods tonight, buddy. I'm on the East Coast virtual. You're on the West Coast, but Auto Club Speedway should be an exciting race tonight for the trucks.
Looking forward to this one. It's kind of a home game for us here on the West Coast, as this is one of the West Coast tracks that NASCAR hits on the West Coast swing every spring before heading back into the thick of things back in racing country. But drivers always love coming to Auto Club. This is such a big, spacious track. Reminds me so much of Michigan, and almost an identical twin to the track over in Lansing, Michigan. And this track has produced some incredible racing over the last few years, Wesley, and I'm excited to see the Northwest Truck Series take their turn at the big 2-mile oval tonight.
Yeah, it should be fun for sure to see what type of racing action we see here as qualifying is just about to get underway. These drivers getting ready to hit the racetrack and get ready for their qualifying run. They've got 25 minutes to be on the clock, but again, this should be a very interesting race. This race, Auto Club Speedway, 2-mile tri-oval here. It should be an exciting 134 laps whenever we drop the green flag, but again, we're going to see who can put fast time down right now in qualifying, Greg.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. It looks like we're qualifying in the sunset. Boy, one truck already having problems. The 13 of Brian Maines getting very loose on his go lap because he had already taken the green flag. So that first lap for Ryan Maines is not going to count, as he got all kinds of squirrely off the turn number 2 in the Armor All Chevy Silverado. So not the start that Ryan Maines is looking for. And Wesley, Ryan Maines is one of those guys who has run so strong in the last few Truck Series starts in the Northwest Racing Series that it's going to be interesting to see how he goes tonight, but definitely not the way he wanted that lap to go, as it's a 46.405 for Ryan Maines. Definitely not the lap he wanted. He looks to go better here on lap number 2. And still sliding through 1 and 2, but much better that time than it was the previous time around.
Yeah, watching Ryan Maines on the clock right now, making his time in qualifying. And right now, he's the first truck that's actually stepped out and took that courage and that Armor All number 13 entry here at Auto Club Speedway to make an effort to try to put a lap down. Everyone else is still playing possum on pit road, as here comes Maines exiting off of turn 4. The sunset in turn number 3 around the 2-mile oval, back across the tri-oval at the start-finish line. 46.405 on lap number 1. He'll pick it up now to a 42, as here comes Roy Grande out to qualify second.
Roy Grande, the Taco Bell Tundra, renumbered, of course, number 18 a couple weeks ago. Dan Stussy also goes 42, 627. 3 trucks have taken time thus far. Roy Grande in the number 18 coming down the backstretch right now, heading off into the sunset in turn number 3. Boy, how awesome is this track at this time of night, Wesley? This is a beautiful view of the California landscape behind the trucks here as they come down the front stretch. Roy Grande, quick time right now. We'll see if he betters it on lap number 2. No, he does not. He's a tick slower, so the 42.219 is the lap that counts for Roy Grande, but he is at the top right now with Maines and Stussy, the only 2 trucks that have taken time thus far. Stussy picks it up a good bit there. 42.272, picks up 4/10 there, but still sitting third on the charts right now.
And I tell you, Greg, one of the things that we're really going to watch here tonight for this event is again, as you stated, we're going to see the different transitions. It's right now close to sunset here, as you see the sun glazing over the front straightaway at the tri-oval. It's got a shadow over the racetrack from turn 1 all the way back down the back straightaway until you kind of exit turn 2 through the mountains of the Auto Club Speedway. It peeks through with a little sunlight, but after that, you go back into the shadows, and we're going to see that transition from nightfall to racing under the lights after we have this sunset. So again, more and more right now. 1 and 2 on the top of the board is, again, we watch these drivers qualify here for this race with the Northwestern Truck Series at Auto Club Speedway.
Yeah, Dennis and Dean Moore, two drivers who are making their debuts this evening, and both of them sitting pretty on top of the charts right now. Dennis was second in practice. Dean was not on the track in practice, but showing he's got just as much speed as Dennis. Not sure what the relationship is between Dennis and Dean, but considering the fact that they are running 34 and 33 with two very, very similar look trucks, have to assume they're related somehow. Not sure what the relationship is, but whatever it is, they've got some speed under their trucks today as they sit third on the charts right now. William Fletcher goes to third right now on his first lap. He begins his second lap at the 42.168 for the 28 truck, and actually he's slowing it down. So good effort by Fletcher.
Yeah, you got more and more in Fletcher right now. The top two. O'Hare has now moved his way up to the number 3 spot. Fletcher will fall back to 4th. Roy Grande in the number 5 spot as qualifying continues here for the trucks. As here comes Audenbacher now cracking the 9th position, and Paulison in the machine on the racetrack now. The 58 machine of Paulison's entry now getting ready to take time as again still halfway through qualifying, and starting to see more trucks taking time. But right now it's the More and More show. They're 1 and 2, and it looks like that could be the front row here tonight at Auto Club.
Very, very good opportunity for the Moors. And remember, Wesley, this is the first race with brand new Ford F-150 in the field tonight. 7 drivers going to take to the field in the Pioneer race for the F-150 tonight. So we will see how the Ford shakes down in its first ever start in the Northwest Truck Series. I'm looking forward to seeing how the Ford trucks fare tonight. And I want to take note, someone has just unloaded, missing practice and half of qualifying. Caden Anderson, the 37, so closely at Richmond, or 2 weeks ago at Richmond, a runner-up finish. He has just unloaded and is getting set to go qualify right now, getting through tech right now. That number 37 showing up a little bit late tonight, but he is in the pits and he is ready to try to make it out and qualify. We'll keep an eye out for the number 37. So far, 11 trucks have taken time. Dennis and Dean Moore leading the way, but there's a truck that just qualified, Chris White, 42.471, but it looks like he is slowing down. So not the lap that Chris White wanted there, Wesley.
Better late than never for that late entry as he gets ready to come on the racetrack. There's Chris White at that number 83, exiting off the turn 3 and 4. And wow, it looks like as he exited off the corner, he was really, really loose, but saves as he goes into the daylight down the tribal on the front straightaway. But again, cut up on under 10 minutes remaining in qualifying, and we got Chris White now coming across the stripe. That's Smith with his last lap in the 00 truck. And just watching these drivers put that needed 1 lap time of speed down here as we watch qualifying continue at Auto Club Speedway. Virtual iRacing tonight on the LSR TV network with more now at the top of the board. There's West, man. Devin West will now go to 2nd place. Good job there, Greg, for West now in the 5.
Devin West, the Homestead winner in this series, has been in the conversation every single week in the Truck Series and the Cup Series. Oh, but
hold on.
Turn number 4. Good save by Devin West. Unfortunately, that's going to knock down any chance of him setting the pole here tonight. But you always have to factor in Devin West in the number 5, as well as father Dan West Jr. West Family Racing, always a threat everywhere they go.
A good run for that driver as they make their way again across the start-finish line. 55. There's Dan West, the West family. We'll see where West ends up in his qualifying attempt. And wow, he even qualified. I think he's. Did I just see West a moment ago? Yeah.
I saw Devin. Dan's pulling out on the track now. And
got you. Okay.
5. Devin West going 2nd, 41.920. Only 4 trucks right now sitting in the 41 second bracket. You have Dennis Moore on top, Devin West 2nd, Dean Moore in 3rd, and Kevin Smith 4th at a 41.998, just barely under the 42 second mark before you find Stephen O'Hare, winner at Texas earlier this year in this series, in 5th at a 42.052. But Dan West Jr., big slide off turn number 4 I do not believe he took the green flag, Wesley, so he
Wow.
should be able to reset and get another couple laps.
Yeah, that was pretty scary there for Dan West just a moment ago. I'm glad he was able to save it and keep on going. So, again, wow. Devin West, Starlight, good for him in the number 2 spot. Dan West's father struggling in the 55. And here's the Waltz Beard Co. entry, the proud sponsor of the Northwestern Truck Series on LSR TV. And there is Jeff Stabnow. Jeff Stabnow in the number 24. In the Waltz Beard Co. LSR TV, number 24 for the series. Jeff Stabnow ready to go around the racetrack. We'll see what he can do on time as it's Moore, West, Moore, Smith, and O'Hare. The top 5 is Stabnow. Never count him out from the Auto Club Speedway. He's on the clock now, Greg Rentz.
And he's one of those 7 drivers who is running
up to third.
Third on the first lap, 4th actually, as he is a 41.969. Jeff Stabnow, one of those 7 drivers wheeling the Ford F-150 in this debut. And Wesley, that's a little bit of a surprise because he runs a Chevy in both the Truck Series before tonight and in the Cup Series. I'm kind of surprised to see Stabnow in a Ford tonight.
And one of the things that we've also noticed in the last couple of weeks has been not many runs of Toyotas anymore. So we'll check the manufacturers here later on for the iRacing broadcast. But here comes Stabnow off 4.
Stabnow getting all he can out of the number 24. Crosses the strike. 4th on the chart. Not anymore. Can you say quick time? 41.749 for Jeff Stabnow. And that, Wesley, is no surprise to see Stabnow setting the bar. So the Fords showing some speed here in the early stages of this qualifying session.
Well, it was just a matter of time before we thought we would see Stabnow go to the top of the board, and he's done it. 41.749 seconds. That is the time to beat right now for the driver in that number 24 Waltz Beard Co. LSR TV entry. And here comes another LSR TV truck that struggled a few moments ago, but oh wow,
he got the wall.
Got the wall. Dan West in the number 55. We'll see what he can do now, as he is really handling problems on the number 55 truck as he exits 3 and 4 there, Greg.
You know, they typically run a similar but slightly different setup. Devin and his father Dan. I gotta say, I think Dan might be thinking about just throwing Devin's setup in right now, because that is not what he wanted. He's going to be 6th on the charts with a 42.047 because that lap does not count because of him scraping the wall. Checking in with the 37 of Caden Anderson. No practice, missed the driver's meeting, just unloaded and went straight out on the track. Qualified 9th of the 42.170. So good effort there from Caden Anderson. A couple of drivers still have yet to take time, including a guy who shows a lot of speed in this series over the last month or so. Tyler King in the 44 has not yet been out on the track yet.
Yeah, whatever problem he had, he is still continuing along down the racetrack as we watch this battle continue. Stabnow right now, the fast qualifier again, 41.749 seconds. Moore, West, Moore, Smith, the top 5. Then it's West, O'Hare, Fletcher, Anderson, and Burke, as we're going to see if Dan West in the 55 can have a better qualifying run than as he stands right now. He will end his run at 6, just outside the top 5 in the number 6 position, as again, just under 5 minutes remaining in qualifying. I don't know. I think that might be all the trucks in qualifying for tonight, Greg.
We'll see. Still got 4 minutes left on the docket, but still several trucks have not yet gone. Tyler King, Corey Walters among them. And Wesley, notice who's not in the field tonight. A very, very fast Toyota, Sean Brightsman, not in the field tonight.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that Sean Brightsman, the number 46 entry, is not here tonight. That is definitely something that I was not expecting. Sean Brightsman not able to answer the call and be here tonight for that event. So, yeah, a caution out for or losing the 46 truck. Definitely it's going to be felt here for sure. Qualifying just under 4 minutes remaining. We're going to take a quick break and get you ready for the feature coming up for this event. 200 miles, 134 laps from Auto Club Speedway with the Waltz Beard Co. Northwest Truck Series. Live from LSR TV, your home of sim racing. We'll be back in a moment.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
Welcome back, LSR TV coverage of the Northwestern Truck Series. Greg Rentz, Wesley Outland qualifying has concluded, and we are set now for the starting lineup for this next round of the series here at Auto Club Speedway. Again, the field behind the toe of the pace car. Jeff Stabnow, fast qualifier in the number 24 entry, 41.749 seconds. Dennis Moore will make up row number 1. Devin West in the 5 and the 33 of Dean Moore, row number 2.
Kevin Smith rounds out the top 5, and boy, that double zero has been very strong in qualifying, Wesley. We'll see how it transfers over to the race, but he's got a very hungry hound who is outside. Dan West Jr. in the 55, always a threat. Stephen O'Hare and William Fletcher make up row number 4, with rounding out the top 10, Caden Anderson, who missed the driver's meeting, just barely made qualifying, coming up 9th, and Carl Burke, who many people would say is due for a good run. He rounds out the top 10, Wesley.
There you go. Making up rest of the rundown includes Roy Grande in the number 18 entry starting 11th. Ryan Maines in the 13 will start 12th as we look at the rest of the rundown. 13th, Dan Stussy in the 78th, and James Vining. He better lock up the cat, stow it away. The 333 will start 14th.
Hey, I'm not the one that went there this week with James Vining. John Ottenbacher, the LSR TV Chevy, will roll off in the 15th. Steve Paulison in the 16 spot. Rounding out the trucks that qualified is Chris White. Provisionals for Corey Walters, Tyler King, Ray Fournier, Scott Hutchinson, Rick Heffley, Tom Green, and Frank Harris. We are getting set to go racing for 134 laps. Pace's car is
It's time to roll here. Let's see what happens. Ready for this event, come for a start. Down the front straightaway, it's Moore and Stabnow right alongside one another. The Northwestern Truck Series at Auto Club. Green flag here, 200 miles, 134 laps, and Stabnow gets the early jump into turn 1.
Stabnow with a good jump into turn number 1. No surprise, he's been one of the hottest drivers in the circuit right now. Look at Dan West Jr. getting down to the bottom in a big hurry, and he is sticking on the bottom trying to go after his son Devin in the 5. Here comes the 55 with that Dennis Moore in the 34. Yeah, it's going to take a minute to get used to the 34 and the 33. Dennis and Dean Moore out there on track for the first time tonight, but 2 very good qualifying efforts, 4th and 6th on the charts right now after starting up on the front row. But give lap 1 to Jeff Stabnow.
Opening lap. Give it to Stabnow. Is the man leading the way. You got West and West. Whatever problems that we saw Dan West have in the 55 truck on the early going now, he's moved up to second and third, and he's starting to make a run on Sun West as they go into turn number 3 there, Greg.
Yeah, we'll see how he can go, and he's going to show us that he's going right to the front. Ooh, a little bit of a bobble, though, from Dan West Jr. And I wonder if he threw Devin's setup on like we talked about possibly doing, because that truck looked evil in qualifying, but here it is. Come race time, he is ready to go, and he has just blown his son's doors off going for the sec spot. He gets it, and Dan West Jr. putting the pressure on Stabnow early for the lead. But I gotta say, I'm very impressed with Dennis and Dean Moore right now so far, doing a good job hanging in there in their 2 Chevy Silverados, 4th and 6th right now. Dean under a little bit of pressure, though, from Stephen O'Hare, the winner at Texas earlier this season.
Yeah, what an impressive run for Stephen O'Hare again in that 41 machine as this race continues on. It's Stabnow. Stabnow went on a streak for the Truck Series where he won 2 in a row at Charlotte, and I believe it was also Pocono, I believe it was, a dominating performance for the driver in that number 24 truck. And now you have West and West with great performances for them as well, as we're still in the early going of this thing. And Fletcher, another driver that I don't think we've ever mentioned before for the Northwest Truck Series, or at least I haven't, right now sitting in the top 5.
But he always qualifies so strong in the Truck Series and has such strong starts in the 28, but the luck is just not there for the 28, and hopefully for him to transition to Ford is what cures that. But speaking of, we've got the 55 of Dan West Jr. He's running strong. He led that lap as he got a run to the inside going into turn number 3, and he is side by side with Jeff Stabnow. How many times have we seen Dan West Jr. and Jeff Stabnow trading the lead here in this series? New leader, Dan West Jr. in the 55. Watch the crossover.
Watch that crossover. We'll see if something changes with now Dan West out in front leading the way. West with problems, struggling in practice, and now in qualifying, he has put it in the race at P1. Stabnow turning back around and getting the lead back away. 58 thousandths of a second, the interval at the stripe. Lap 6 of 134 here at Auto Club in the early going.
Such good racing here early on between Jeff Stabnow and Dan West Jr., 2 of the all-time best, and enter the rookie Devin West. Dan's son is putting pressure on. He just got around his father, and he wants the lead from Jeff Stabnow. He's going to take a peek there, and he might have gotten a little bit upset being up in that dirty air behind the 24, because that allows Dan to get a run on his son. But Devin able to drive it in deep into turn number 3. He's taking a shot now at the lead.
Watching them as they make their way off of turn number 4, almost 3 wide for the lead as they come across the stripe. West, Stabnow, West, 1, 2, and 3. Moore, O'Hare, they're all there. Right there to the outside, peeking to the inside. Stabnow under attack for that spot by Dan West, who is inside in 1.
Devin West leading the way, but Dan West Jr. following suit with Jeff Stabnow. 2 Chevys and a Ford leading the way here at Auto Club. Creeping into the picture a little bit with that battle breaking out. Dennis Moore in the 34 qualified second is beginning to close in on this battle with them fanning out side by side, as well as Stephen O'Hare. He has cracked the top 5, trying to chase down Dennis Moore right now in the 34, but Moore is closing in on Stabnow. This may be a 5-truck battle before too long.
5 trucks now trying to nestle and pull away from 6th on back and fight for the lead and go back single file as that freight train roars back to the inside. One thing we talked about early in the going for this race is we're on lap 8 of 134 here in this 200-miler at Auto Club Speedway. Greg, is the fact that precision banking, they have that here at Auto Club, and that means you're allowed to go several lanes of racing. We're going to see if anybody can take advantage of it. Right now, they're going to the middle, they're going to the top, they're going to the bottom. Everything right now of why Auto Club is such a very widely known 3, 4, 5 wide racetrack with precision banking happening here in the early going.
And that's just what leads to this incredible racing we see at this track. 4, sometimes 5 wide at this track. We compare this track to Michigan. It's a twin sister to the Michigan International Speedway, and it produces very similar racing, but this surface is a little bit different than Michigan, Wesley. That's the difference between the two, is this racing surface is just so bumpy compared to Michigan. You can see it going down the backstretch. The trucks are just bopping around on the backstretch. They call it the hospital bobble sometimes, and it just shows you how different the tracks are, but in the similarities as well. It's all about who can manage that bumpy surface a lot, but those bumps take a toll on the tires. And Wesley, our producer, Cody, told us before the race about 31, 32, 34 laps-ish.
That's right.
On tires. A few extra laps of fuel. So that's something you got to keep an eye on here in this early stages. We're already 10 laps into this one, so the tires are definitely beginning to fall off here already. Leader Devin West has dropped off 0.6 of a second from his qualifying time. Father Dan, only 0.4 of a second, but the follow-up is already beginning.
Yeah, that's one of the things we talked about was obviously this battle for position as they continue to come across the line, but is that green flag run. Or if they go green flag, 31, 35 laps for tires and fuel between that number, and that's right now where we're looking at lap number 11. And one of the things that is common here in reality, virtual here at iRacing for this esports coverage on LSR TV of the Northwest Truck Series is bottom line, we might see the long green flag run. Normally caution flags are not a premium here at Auto Club Speedway. And again, as we are working the lap 11, nobody has caused the yellow flag to come out yet. So, and when the cautions do fall, it normally is for a late race caution, Greg.
Yeah, we've seen it time and time again. Cautions tend to breed cautions, but if you can get a long green flag run, it can be a nice long green flag run. Two trucks have taken it behind the wall and retired from the race so far. Wesley, the 91 of Scott Hutchinson is going to complete 7 laps. Carl Burke in the 53 will complete 10 laps. Those are the first 2 trucks out of the race. 21 trucks remaining on the track right now. Ray Fournier in the 26 did not start.
Yeah, tough break there for Ray Fournier in the number 26 machine, unable to even answer the call to take the green flag. So again, Hutchinson, Burke behind the wall, several laps down as they are exiting and calling it a race. We're working lap number 12 of 134, the Northwestern Truck Series, presented by Waltz Beard Co. here tonight on LSR TV from Auto Club Speedway. It's again West, Stabnow, O'Hare, and Moore, your top 5, and they go roaring back into turn 1.
I'm just so impressed right now with Dennis from Dean Moore right now in the 34 and 33 trucks. Wesley, me and you hadn't even heard of these guys until we saw their names on the list. We were like, who is this?
Who are they?
Yeah, all of a sudden, Dennis Moore was second on the charts in practice, second in qualifying, and here he is running in the top 5 early. These are 2 guys who we've never heard of before, but they are very, very impressive here in the early going.
Yeah, I was thinking of that song, Who Are You, for sure. So we'll watch them as they make their way around the racetrack, continuing along. It's, again, West. And what the West family. Dan West and Devin West right there in the 5 and 55. Devin West, a strong truck in the 5. And then we saw Dan West struggle in his LSR TV number 55 entry, and then he turned around, Greg, and he's come out of nowhere, and it's like maybe the truck wasn't set up for the handling of qualifying. He's ready for race trim, and I'm wondering if we're seeing that right now as he's in second.
Yeah, he may have just gone with the race trim setup for qualifying, where Devin may have had a separate setup for qualifying, but no surprise here. The West family racing trucks are very, very strong right now. They are leading the way. Dan West Jr. getting the lead back. I believe that's his second lap led today as Devin now goes to work trying to chase him down. Good run off turn number 2 for Devin. He's going to get right up on the tailgate of Dan. And here comes Devin with a shot back to the bottom.
Watching him as they exit off the corner to the inside. Father and son battle for the lead here at Auto Club on lap number 15. Son to the lead, still at the stripe. Father trying to close in on him in the West show at 1 and 2, and they're pulling away from Stabnow.
Yeah, Stabnow falling off the pace of the leaders right now, 1.6 seconds. He actually gained a tenth of a second there, but that's because of the side-by-side battle. Stephen O'Hare, another second back, and then Dennis and Dean Moore. Can tell you they're baseball fans, Wesley. I've gotten that figured out because Dennis is running an Atlanta Braves truck right now. Dean Moore is running the defending World Series champion Washington Nationals truck, so got that much figured out. They are made.
I'm a Braves fan. I'm a Braves fan.
I'm a Dodgers fan, so
there you go.
World Series is a touchy subject for the last couple of years, especially
I know.
With a team that shall not be mentioned.
And probably one of the greatest broadcasters of all time in baseball from your Dodgers realm, Vin Scully. I always enjoyed listening to Vin Scully call a baseball game for the LA Dodgers. Definitely one of the best.
Main reasons I got into announcing would be Vin Scully.
Yes, sir. One of the best. One of the only guys that I could ever know to call a radio baseball game and be solo and not have to have a sideline reporter or a color. He can do it on his own. So West, that is the driver of Devin West, the young man leading the way. They're the leaders, 1 and 2. Dan West, Daddy, right there in the number 2 spot, working lap 17 of 134. Hey, sponsors are important, so we're going to step away real quickly and thank some of them as we're in a green flag run. Everybody playing nice in the early going of the Waltz Beard Co. Northwest Truck Series from Auto Club Speedway. We'll be back in just a moment on LSR TV. Race on Texas, one of the big affiliates of LSR TV, and thanks to what Chris David does, and of course our producer Cody Wooten, also a big part of Race on Texas. So get that speed pass and be a part of all the great coverage of reality racing and virtual racing here on LSR TV. Greg Rentz, Wesley Outland, back on lap number 20 of 134. You haven't missed a thing. It's still the same thing as if we went to break. Greg, no change in the top 2.
No change in the top 2, but I'm keeping my eye on a guy who we talked about a little bit just because of how close he cut it. He missed practice, missed the driver's meeting, was unloading the truck in practice. Caden Anderson in the 37 started 9th. He's already up to 6th. So the 37 truck, despite the fact that he missed qualifying, or almost missed qualifying, missed practice, pretty much no time on the track whatsoever, running very strong. That just goes to show you just how talented that young man in the 37 is behind the wheel. And I'm excited really to get to see him wheel a real live race car next week, because he is one of about 30 or so late models that's going to be at the first real race in the Northwest this season, coming up at State Line Speedway in a week. So I'm excited to see Caden Anderson back on the track in real life, and he's showing us right now just how much speed he has in his iRacing truck. We're excited to see what he's got next week.
That's awesome news. So glad to start to see the resurgence of normalcy happen again for racing as Auto Club Speedway tonight for the iRacing Northwestern Truck Series. And one of the cool things, Greg, is a lot of the drivers that run in this racing league are real-time race car drivers.
Yeah, most of them are. And it's not just pavement drivers either. The West family that's leading the way right now, Devin and Dan, made their name on dirt. Dan West Jr., a former sprint car driver, made starts all over the country in the ASCS, I found out not too long ago. His son Devin made a name for himself in legend cars on a couple of years ago and won just about every Legends race there was to win, but he has since followed in the footsteps of his father Dan. He has moved into dirt modifieds over the last couple of seasons. So we see drivers of all sorts of disciplines. You have Caden Anderson we talked about. He ran Legends for the longest time. He stepped up in the late models this past season. Just a couple of drivers who have really made their names in real life racing. He's not in the field tonight, but Sean Brightsman, he runs midget cars in the Northwest. So just so many different disciplines in this series, and they're all racing the trucks right now. It's just so much fun to have this series on iRacing every Thursday night here on LSR TV. These guys put on a show, and it's just so much fun to see drivers from all these different worlds of racing in the Northwest come together and put on this great show every Thursday. And that's just the truck series. That's not even counting the Cup series, where you have even more drivers show up on a Monday night.
Yeah, I was going to say, you took the words right out of my mouth, but a great segue. Every Monday night, of course, it is the LSR TV coverage of the Northwestern Cup Series, and that is the next round at Auto Club Speedway on Monday night. Join Justin Prince, Greg Rentz, and myself. I'll be from the play-by-play booth on to pit road. I love pit reporting. I love that different style of doing so many different things, Greg, because you can always find different things in a broadcast, whether it's pit reporting, reality, virtual, in the booth, color, pit reporting. I love pit reporting because you go in there, you talk to the drivers, you get their stories, you get in and you get off fast on pit stops. So I'm looking forward to it. I've been doing it the last couple of weeks, and I know the man of the series, Jeff Stabnow, enjoys what we get to do, and he says, man, I like when you cover the pits. So we have fun.
I gotta say, pit reporting is one of my favorite things to do in real life. I'm lucky enough to have gotten to pit report some of the biggest super late model races in the Northwest over the last few years, including the last 3 fall classics, which is our big race at the end of the season every year. So I'm fortunate enough to be able to pit report on that. I've had a couple things not go my way when it comes to that, by means of meeting my leg next to a car, and the car won that one. But it's definitely fun getting the pit report and bouncing in and out of the tower, moving to the production truck once in a while. So much fun to just see how it all goes, and all the little nooks and crannies that go into making a broadcast. And it's just so much fun to be able to bring this to you guys on LSR TV twice a week, and we love doing it. You guys are the reason we do it. And we love bringing you guys all the racing action. And boy, the West family, they are loving putting on the racing action right now, because they are trading the lead back and forth. Devin just took the lead back from Dan there in the team.
It's a family affair of those two drivers continuing along here. Thank you for those that are watching. Continue to follow us and subscribe at LSR TV on YouTube. We're also on Facebook at LSR TV, at LSR TV on Instagram and Twitter. And guess what? I got to talk to... Oh, sparks off the wall for the lead.
Devin West hit the wall. Devin West hit the wall, and I think Dan caught it as well. Suddenly, the 2 fastest trucks in town, 6 seconds ahead of third. Now
wow.
They both have considerable damage.
Can we catch a replay of that? I wonder if our awesome production Cody was able to grab a replay in real time of what happened with the 5 and the double nickel. They're able to continue, but it's been probably the only highlight of the race so far. And Greg, that could have been costly for the top 2 of the West family.
That could have been a disaster, and now I'm curious to see what that's going to do for these trucks. Wesley, this is such a big track. Aero is so important here that even the slightest damage can affect you. You won't see it as much in the trucks as opposed to the Cup Series, but now I'm really going to keep my eye on the trucks behind them. Stephen O'Hare, Jeff Stabnow, and others. Doesn't seem to affect them that time, by as the gap stayed the same, but man, that could have changed the entire complexion of the race had that not gone the way it did. If that got a little bit worse, this entire race would have been thrown on its lid.
Yeah, I was going to say that. That definitely would have been a different outcome for the event for sure, but they hold it together. Nonetheless, they hold it together. We'll still stay under the green flag, and again, that could have been a lot worse than it turned out to be, but we still stay green here at Auto Club Speedway. 200 miles, 134 laps on LSR TV of the Northwestern Truck Series. West and West show continues. And here's the thing, Greg, even though they bounced off the wall and hit each other, they still, for the most part, never lost ground to the rest of the pack. There's still an interval of over 7 seconds to Stabnow and company, as Stabnow and O'Hare have a nice battle for third off turn 2.
Yeah, checking in on that battle. Jeff Stabnow getting back around Stephen O'Hare in the 41. So Stabnow going back to work, trying to get around the 41 of Stab now. Don't look now, but look who has just cracked the top 5. Wesley, Caden Anderson has just taken the 5th spot away from Dennis Moore, and I believe Dennis Moore topped the wall the previous lap also, has both Caden Anderson and now Chris White able to get up. And Chris White, another driver running the Ford F-150 for the first time tonight. Remember, Wesley, a few weeks ago, Chris White made the switch over from Chevy to Ford in the Cup Series.
That's right.
And now he gets to make the switch to Ford in the Truck Series. Seems to be the Ford is really working for him, but he missed it in qualifying. Qualified 17th. He was the slowest of the cars or trucks to take time. He has already worked up to 6th. So that 83 has some speed. Looks like Chris White and the Ford seem to get along pretty well.
Ryan Maines on pit road as well, to the attention of his crew, working lap 31 of 134, close it in on 100 laps to go. And again, as we see the Armor All number 13 of Ryan Maines on pit road, you have not missed a thing here at the iRacing Esports broadcast of the Northwestern Racing Truck Series presented by Waltz Beard Co. Again on LSR TV, the battle is the West family, father, son, flip-flopping 1 and 2. Working now lap 31 of 134, just shy of 100 to go here at Auto Club Speedway.
Long race, so a lot of drivers going to be taking it easy. Multiple pit stops definitely on deck. And Wesley, lap 31. So this is about when we started expecting drivers anyway. So Ryan Maines leading the charge when it comes to pit stops. And he's going to have the freshest tires on track for the time being until the rest of these guys come in. So how much of an advantage is that going to be for Ryan Maines until these guys pull in with the fresh tires?
We'll see as we have more on pit road. Here comes Jeff Stapp now. Remember, we said it was going to be between 31 to 35 laps the pit window would be. That's what our producers and working on our broadcast notes were telling us before we came live on the air. And here comes the Waltz Beard Co. entry of Jeff Stapp now, all the way to pit stall number 1. Right side tires being put on the number 24 entry as he drops down to the last truck on the lead lap on the scoring pylon, and your ticker on the upper left of the broadcast screen. New change of tires on the left, on the right. Splash of Sunoco fuel in the tank. He roars back out onto pit road. And as we also see Vining, Harris, Green, and Grande exit and make their way onto the pits as well for green flag pit stops, could Stapp now get the upper hand for pitting before the rest of the pack did?
We will see. And Wesley, one thing to talk about here is
for the lead.
For the lead, Devin West and Dan trading it once again. This time Devin gets the lead back in. One thing that these drivers are definitely thankful for, which is something that I just learned about exists in the Cup race at Darlington the Cup race at Martinsville last night. Did you know what a droop chain was before it broke on Bubba Wallace's car last night?
I never knew what a droop chain was. That's a new name for me. I'll have to do some research with some of my NASCAR pit reporter friends and find out exactly what a droop chain is.
Apparently it helps raise the chassis when the jackman jacks the car up, so it only has to do one pump of the jack and you're good. It broke on Bubba Wallace's car last night, so the jackman was having to jack the car up 3 times because that chain wasn't helping lift the car. These drivers suddenly finding out what that is, they're suddenly very thankful that that can't break in this sim.
So basically the droop bar is something that is on the jack of the cars that are hydraulics to make the cars jack up high in only 2 pushes, you know, two tugs. Normally if you have your own automobile car and you get a flat tire on the side of the road, you pull out your regular jack, you got to pump that thing up about 40-50 times or more to get some elevation. But basically that is a part that's on the Cup Series jack. So good observation there. White, Walters, all on pit road. They're coming in for service as the first cycle of green flag pit stops are underway. So let's see here. They pitted between 31 to 35. The leaders have not pitted yet. So I would say
here come the
134
leaders,
laps the race, and here come the leaders on the pit road right now. As I just say that, they took the words right out of my mouth. And as I say that, Greg, I'm thinking 3 green flag pit stops if we go green flag all the way to the finish, and that's what they're going to have to do.
I'm thinking maybe that's what it's going to be as well. But if you don't time it right, that can kind of make things interesting on the final laps of the race. I actually announced the race at Michigan, the sister track to this, on Tuesday. Came down the fuel mileage, and the dominant car Oh, Devin West, I'll finish that up. Devin West missed his pit stall.
Costly for West. Will that hurt him?
He had to back up. He overshot his pit stall, and then he backed too far. That's going to cost him dearly. As Dan West Jr., his father, already rolling. Devin West still getting the left sides on. And he's
the young man.
Looks like he may have gotten a penalty on top of it.
What a tough break for the young man, Devin West. And I'm understanding there's possibly a penalty coming on the number 5. We'll check that and make sure. Wow, what a tough break.
That's a heartbreak for Devin West in the 5. But just another case of being so strong. And unfortunately coming up a little bit short there. Dennis Moore on pit road now in the number 34 after leading a couple laps. Dean Moore in the 33. The baseball trucks is working along as we don't know what the relationship is between Dennis and Dean Moore. Clearly a relation of some kind. Devin West just now was able to leave pit road. So man, oh man. Race leader now in a lot of trouble trying to get back up to speed. And he's going to need a caution as his father Dan and Jeff Stabnow both just lapped him. That was not for position. That was putting him a lap down as they will inherit the race lead. Those two will. Rick Heffley, the only truck left that has yet to pit in the number 62, and he's showing no intentions of coming down pit road this time, so he's going to stay out and lead a lap. He's got 12 seconds, and he's in the wall hard. I think he may have just blown the tire or something.
Oh, no.
Boy, that 62 just pounded the wall out of nowhere. I'm not sure what happened, but something went haywire on the 62 right as he was crossing the strike to lead, I believe, his first laps of the season, and suddenly that 62 has a lot of damage.
Yeah, problems for Rick Heffley in that 62 machine as Greg just ran it on hard into the outside retaining wall down the front straightaway here on the Triolet Auto Club. And now his Chevrolet Silverado is limping with the Texaco colors of the great Davey Allison. Down off of turn 3 and 4. He's at the bottom of the apron. You can tell that he is committing to coming to pit road. How much damage is on the leader's truck? And as it happens, we cycle back around to now second and third, becoming first and second. It's the Dan West, Jeff Stabnow, O'Hare top 3 after cycle of pit stops. Round 1 under green conclude here in Fontana.
That just shows you how much ground Jeff Stabnow was able to gain on pit road with those pressure tires for a couple laps. But now we're seeing the opposite. Now we're seeing Dan West Jr. has a couple less laps on the tires than Stabnow. So West Jr. now beginning to pull away from Jeff Stabnow as he inherits the lead. And now Dan West Jr., honestly, the only truck that I was seeing that really had anything for Dan West Jr. would be his son Devin, is pinned a lap down in 19th position. So a lot of work cut out for Devin West in the number 5. He's going to need a caution to get back on the lead lap here.
It's West, Stabnow, O'Hare, White, Ottenbacher. There's my hockey name. And hey, speaking of hockey, Greg, hockey coming back soon. We love hockey.
Absolutely. I'm still waiting on word for what my team, the Spokane Braves, are going to be doing this season, as it's a very, very special season for us. I can't go into details right now because we still got some top secret stuff in the plans, but I can tell you we are expecting a very, very special season for my team. Just got to wait for the word that we are a go on the league, but the NHL is coming back here in a little over a month, hopefully, so we got playoffs coming up as well.
And playoffs right out of the gate. It'll be playoffs. Win, you survive. You lose, you're done. You go to the Stanley Cup. Who will be the best teams? Again, when hockey gets back underway and our normalcy of life returning after almost a 4-month pandemic of the coronavirus. But again, this iRacing esports has definitely earned theirself a fraternity portion of the motorsports world after so many people jumping on board to be a part of this, not just for the pavement, but for dirt, for modifieds, for cup and truck, the super late models, the street stocks. What a phenomenal job. Road course racing. Everybody's done a great job, and I think that esports definitely has earned their place in motorsports history.
And how about shiny new toy that we didn't talk about there? The new 1987 cars.
Oh, yes. Yes. And by the way, real quickly, their decision was made with LSR TV that there will not be a throwback series. There will not be a LSR TV throwback series. However, there is going to be a special big money purse LSR TV throwback race. They're working on the details for that. Hopefully we'll be on the broadcast crew for that, because I want to call one of those 87 Cup throwback Ford Thunderbirds and Chevrolet Lumina events at North Wilkesboro Speedway. So again, no throwback series for LSR TV. However, Greg, we will have a special full race, and it should be exciting.
I'm fortunate enough that I just got to call a 87 race at Wilkesboro earlier today. I gotta tell you, it was some of the most fun I've ever had as a broadcaster, and I can't wait for that one to come through. We're just waiting on the details right now. One guy who's not waiting on anything is Dan West Jr., the 55, already 2.5 seconds on Jeff Stabnow right now, and then it's another 4 back to Stephen O'Hare. We have stayed clean and green this whole way, but Wesley, Dan West Jr. has already used his fast repair.
Yeah, we're watching King and Odenbacher there. I'm sorry, that battle there, the pink and green truck, 44 and 89 for position, and that's for the top 6 and 7 spot.
Yeah, that's going on, but we talked for a second there about Dan West Jr. using the fast repair. I'm almost wondering, is that why Devin West waited so long? Did he elect to save the fast repair and just take the manual repair time? Maybe.
Just maybe. 44 of 134 laps complete, under 90 laps to go. And nightfall settling in. It's almost dusk here on Virtual Auto Club Speedway, Fontana, just outside of Los Angeles in California. Greg Rentz, Wesley Outland, awesome production by Cody Wooten and Will Duvall on the production side of things. LSR TV coverage of the Northwestern Truck Series. And again, just coming up on lap number 45 complete. West in his own world, but a battle, a storm brewing with lap traffic around the leader, because Stabnow is almost 3.5 seconds behind the leader as they come to the start-finish line now.
Yeah, Dan West Jr. putting a clinic on with his son Devin pinned a lap down, and right now he's not even in lucky dog position. Oh, he just got lucky dog position back from Rick Heffley, I believe.
The free pass. Yes, you're exactly right. If we were to get a caution, the free pass would right now go to Devin West, but in the number 5 entry.
But Wesley, he is actually closing in on his father. It's only about 2 seconds or so.
That's right.
To him. Do you think Dan might do his son a favor and let him go and get his lap back if he gets up to him?
I don't know. We'll see what happens as we watch this battle with the Hooters number 9 entry. That's Walters. He's got Harris and Grande all behind him, along with Green for that position as they fight their way as the last remaining trucks at the tail end of the lead lap. Working now lap number 47 at the line here. Auto Club Speedway. And under the lights will soon be nightfall for this event for the Northwestern Truck Series, presented by Waltz Beard Co.
Keeping an eye on that battle I am between Corey Walters, Frank Harris, Roy Grande, and others. And another truck that switched over to Ford is that 11 of Frank Harris. Remember, he did not qualify. He took provisional, so he has quietly worked his way up from the 24th starting position to the 14th position. So he's plus 10 on the night right now in the number 11, and he has really embraced the Ford here on the iRacing server, Wesley, because I'm looking at that truck. That thing is wrapped in Ford colors, a big old blue oval on the nose. I think Frank Harris is a little bit happy that the Ford F-150 is now on the server.
Coming up on lap number 50. And again, it is still West leading the way here in that number 55 machine. Stabnow patiently the number 2 spot. O'Hare in 3rd. What do you say we crank it up? Let's feel the thunder, virtual iRacing style, from Auto Club Speedway as we are still green flag here tonight. Well, working lap number 52 of 134 laps and still caution free. Yes, I'm purposely saying that, Greg Rentz, so somebody will cause the Banana Republic flag to wave, because we've had a long green flag run, and to be honest with you, we expected the possibility of it being this way, Greg.
Yeah, we talked about that before the race, that this was a possibility at this track where it spreads out so much that if you get 5, 6, 7 laps in on a run, all of a sudden it can be pretty difficult to catch the caution. And we're here 53 laps into this one, and no sign of it either. And we've had our share of moments that we thought might result in it. We had the West family both pounding the wall off of turn number 4, and then Heffley in the 62. Boy, I thought for sure we were getting a caution when whatever happened with the 62 happened, because he destroyed the right side of his truck earlier while leading the way, trying to stay out and gain a couple laps led, and he just pounded the wall. I thought for sure we were going to get a caution there, but we didn't. So here we are, lap 53, getting ready to start as Dan West Jr. leading the charge right now. His son Devin is creeping up, and now we're going to see, Wesley, what I talked about a few laps ago might happen here. Will Dan kind of let his son get his lap back? And then, if that does happen, how many buttons do you think Devin West is going to push to try to figure out which button throws a water bottle out the window to bring a caution out?
Yeah, that's true. What type of atmosphere will we see for sure as this racing continues and goes on down to the wire? We have saw some awesome racing here tonight so far at this event, and again, just watching and seeing if anybody has got anything for Devin West, because obviously he's the strong man. But Stabnow playing possum obviously with the field. He's right there waiting patiently in that number 2 spot. And oh man, so we need a caution. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is truth, Greg. We need a caution. We need a yellow to bunch this field up, because I'll be honest with you. Do you realize we're about 10 laps away from the second segue of green flag pit stops?
But we've seen the race get turned on its head already on a set of green flag pit stops. Who's to say that won't happen again? Remember, Dan West Jr. has had that happen a couple of times. The race leader has missed pit entry while leading the race or running second. So who's to say that won't happen this time by, with the pit stops getting ready to creep back up here shortly. So Dan West Jr. leading the way, and he does indeed let his son Devin get his lap back there. So now Devin's got to try to charge his way through. And now, do you think with his lap being back, what kind of strategy do you think Devin's going to do? Do you think he might short pit a couple laps to try to get a couple extra laps of tire difference?
You realize that father has ran down son, as here they come again off the corner. Father has ran down son of West. That's your last trucks on the lead lap. That's Devin West trying as fierce as he can to scamper away from the leader, his dad, Dan West Jr., who struggled in practice, had a horrible truck in qualifying, and ever since this race has started, he's been at the whip. And Dan West Jr., again, taking advantage also of the misfortunes of the penalty and the mistake that his son Devin West made on that first round of pit stops as well.
Dan trying to hang tight. He's got a 7-second lead, so he doesn't necessarily have to push it right now. As Jeff Stabnow in the second position, now 8 seconds, as Stabnow went 0.6 of a second faster than Stabnow that time. But we're seeing right now he's drafting on his son Devin right now, so that in turn is also helping him save a little bit of fuel right now. Being able to be the second truck in the draft, he's not having to push the throttle as much. He's saving a little bit of fuel, not having to push it so much right now. So that could also help out Dan for a little bit if he can stay tucked on his son's tailgate right now.
West, Stabnow, White, O'Hare, Anderson, your top 5 as they roar back to the corner. As you see the 58 of Paulison and more battle for that position. That is right now for 7th and 8th. And here comes another round of green flag pit stops. I think that's Ottenbacher coming down the pit lane for the second time in a row. Green flag sequence pit stops on lap 59 of 134. Here comes Smith and Ottenbacher to the pit road, Greg Rins.
So pit stops beginning on lap 59, second round. And remember, Ottenbacher was the one who opened the pit window last time. It was him and Ryan Maines that opened it last time. Here it is once again. So John Ottenbacher on the short pit strategy here. So we'll see how this pays off. As he gets the 4 tires and full tank of fuel, he's off and away. So we'll see how it goes for Ottenbacher, leading the charge down pit road once again.
Back to the pits again. Making these green flag pit stops continuing. They're scheduled. And again, as we are working closer to lap number 60, the race roars on. What a battle as it's still West. Out in front. Stab now in second for that position.
Wesley, how about Chris White in the 83 up to third after being the slowest truck on the time chart in qualifying? Did not start at the tail end of the field because several drivers elected not to qualify, but Chris White qualified 17th on the charts, is running third right now. What a performance out of that 83.
I was going to say what a performance there for that driver as well. We got trouble. Hold on. 37. Couple of trucks get together and no caution.
What happened there? I just looked up and saw the 37 sliding. Oh, he got together with the 41 of Stephen O'Hare.
And no caution. Still no yellow flag. Oh my goodness. Let's take a look at this on a replay of what happened here. Little contact on this replay. Boy, that could have been a lot worse than it turned out to be. It looks like the man that got into the 37 quickly got back on the binders, backed off the throttle, virtual style, and let him continue on. A mercy for Anderson in 37, and we still stay under green flag.
But fortunately, we're so close to pit stops now that they can just come in and use that fast repair. And it's only a couple of laps out, Wesley, but man, oh man, that changes the race up for those two. Remember, Caden Anderson missed practice. He's coming on pit road right now in the number 37. That 37 truck is beat up now as he is coming down pit road to get that fast repair. And while you're down, might as well take 4 fresh tires and fill your tank up anyway because it's getting close to that time. But Caden Anderson coming down pit road right now, and this could work out for him because he is pitting earlier than everybody else. He'll be able to gain some ground back, but we'll see how long before the rest of the field comes down, as we already have seen Ottenbacher come down in the number 89 as he is trying to work his way back onto the lead lap now. But I'm also going to keep my eye on the 41. Here he comes as well. The 41 is Stephen O'Hare, so the 2 trucks in that incident deciding to come down now.
And Caden Anderson was one of those drivers that I believe he won on the Northwestern Series a couple of weeks ago. I want to say it was the Cup race at Richmond.
No,
he won that
up there too.
Yeah, that's it.
Anderson, believe it or not, is still looking for his first career Northwest Racing Series victory. Trucks,
okay,
Xfinity, he is still looking for that first breakthrough win.
I know he comes so close a couple weeks ago, and a good run for Anderson as we watch them continue to go around the racetrack in this session. Laps going on here. Lap 65 of 134 as it's West continuing to lead the way in that number 55 entry. Dan West, again, it was earlier in the race in the first segment of green flag pit stops. The West Show, father and son, Devin and Dan West. Devin came to pit road, had a pit road penalty, missed his pit stall, overshot the box, lost time, and Father West capitalized. And since they sequenced on a green flag run of pit stops, he has led the way. Stab now is in second, but he is still almost 10 seconds back to the leader. White and Moore and King all closing in on that second round of green flag pit stops. I really feel it's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 laps there, Greg Rentz.
Remember, Stabnow pitted a couple laps before Dan West Jr., so his tires fell off quicker than Dan West Jr. They're still seeing it because the lap difference is still the same right now. Ooh, big smoke in front of the 34 of Dennis Moore, who I'm just so impressed with. Dennis and Dean Moore right now, still both running very solidly in the top 10. Dennis has been in the top 5 all day in the Atlanta Braves truck. Dean in the Nationals truck, sitting in 6th right now. Just so impressive for them to come into a series they've never run before and run as strong as they have.
Can we show off that Atlanta Braves truck and that Washington Nationals truck a little bit more? Zoom in and show them the beautiful, beautiful wrap job on those machines there.
I'm about to pay a driver to run the Dodger truck.
There you go. Braves. The Braves. You a Braves fan? The 34, there he is. There's Moore in the 34. And then in the 33, you have the Washington Nationals. And that is the, okay, well, there you go. Look at that. Go Braves. Looks like they can get to the World Series again. They got a good baseball program this year with Ronald Acuna Jr. and more. And there is that number 34. And then you have the 33 right there. Washington Nationals defending World Series champions of baseball. What a great series they had there, but it came down to the Dodgers, and I mean, just wow. I miss baseball. I miss my baseball. And those trucks, honestly, Greg, look so identical, with the exception of that. I mean, you could, yeah.
That's what was drawing me to them, was trying to figure out if they were the same truck or not. And I was paying attention, and I realized, no, that is a Braves logo on the 34, and that is a Nationals logo on the 33. Wesley, do you think if a team out of Houston had a truck, it would be able to pass tech inspection, or would it continuously fail?
I wonder what Cody's, what our producer Cody's truck would be. I mean, I know, would it be a Houston Astros? A Houston Astros truck.
Second place in pit road.
Yeah, here comes Jeff Stabnow.
Baseball, and here comes Jeff Stabnow down pit road for his second pit stop, and again pitting before the 55. So he's going to try to make up some of the ground he lost, but man, that's risky right now, knowing how much tire wear affected you on this long run. We're still green flag for the first time. We're working lap 70 right now, and Stabnow taking the risky move again.
Only 9 trucks on the lead lap as Stabnow exits off the pit road. He goes a lap down, but I'm for certain once they cycle back around, he will get that pit stop back. Lap number 70 of 134. We just passed halfway. Welcome to the Northwestern Truck Series presented by Waltz Beard Co. Flag to flag coverage on LSR TV, your home of sim racing. Greg Rentz, Wesley Outland, Will Duvall, and executive producer Cody Wooten bringing you this broadcast coverage as we are closing in on the final 75 laps of this event. And for the most part, it has been a phenomenal race, if you will, for the West family of Dan West. And again, we tell the story, Greg. He struggled. I mean, we were watching him in qualifying, and we're like, there ain't no way this guy's not going to finish the race. And then he turns around as we see Moore and Paulison come to the pits, and he has been so strong in that 55 truck. And again, we are seeing for the second time, as I called it, around 65, 75, the sequence of second green flag pit stops.
Leader on pit road, Dan West Jr. in the 55 was watching the Braves truck, the 34 of Dennis Moore, come down. Believe this could hand the lead over to Dean Moore in the Nationals trucks, provided he stays out, which it does not look like he will, as it looks like he's slowing down. But Dan West Jr. in the 55 coming into his pit stall and getting the 4 fresh tires and fresh Sunoco race fuel. No, Dean Moore stayed out, so the 33 is going to lead that lap.
There you go.
And just waiting for it to update. Actually, no, West Jr. was so far ahead that he will still lead the laps. But
that's right.
Ryan Maines has retired from the race as well, we should know, in the Armor All number 13. He has parked it for the night.
Another driver out of the event, the Armor All entry, again, of Ryan Maines. Currently will finish this race, it looks like, in the 19th position. All trying to run down Moore now, who is the new leader. The gap to second, which is Dan West Jr., is now 15 seconds. But when they cycle back around, it will be West going back to the lead because Moore has not pitted yet in 33. As you see the leader, or you see the second place man of Dan West Jr. moving through lap traffic back and forth inside and outside here at Auto Club.
He stayed on the lead lap, Wesley. He is only 14 seconds out of the lead. Normally when we see pit stops, the leaders typically fall a lap down for a couple of laps at minimum, but Dan West Jr. stayed on the lead lap there. Incredible job by him, and that just shows you how far ahead that 55 truck was. Jeff Stabnow pitting early. He was able to shave about half the gap off. It's 5 seconds this time by. We'll see if Dean Moore continuing to stay out right now. The Nationals truck, the World Series champions, on TV once again here, trying to get the defending champs some TV time right now.
The interval. Oh, look at this. This is the last time they pitted. Lap 36 was the last time that we saw Moore come to pit road. He's about to put a 40-lap green flag run on his truck from the last pit stop. Lap 71 was the last time West came to the pits. And you see that sequence of them as here comes Heffley back onto pit lane in the 62 machine. We mentioned the Texaco entry having some problems earlier in the lead during the green flag cycle of pit stops, hit the wall. But it is West in the number 2 position, trying to run down Moore. In the 33 entry, there he goes across the stripe. We're looking for West. There he is, off of turn number 2. Slowly but surely closing in on your leader. It is the driver of Dan West's race to lose here. When we go back to this cycle of pit stops, he has got a strong number 55 entry as he exits turn 3.
He's going to get the lead right now. Dean Moore coming on pit road. 2.5 seconds was the difference in speed between
And he was closing him in. He was reeling him in, actually, to be honest with you.
He was 2.5 seconds faster. 2.5 seconds faster. That just
I was going to say.
Fresh tires as opposed to old tires.
Yes. I was going to say, Greg, that Dan West Jr. was like almost 10 seconds back, and before we saw Moore come to pit road, he cut that interval to almost 2 seconds. He was closing in on the leader of Moore. But when it's all said and done, we have West back to the lead. Dan West Jr. cycles back to the lead. Stabnow the second. White, Ottenbacher, Anderson the top 5. We have now 11 trucks on the lead. Lap of trouble, turn 4. That is the 62 of Heffley going around. And the caution will come out for the first time here on lap 77 at Auto Club Speedway.
I think Heffley was trying to get on pit road. And oh no, he was not trying to get on pit road. Man, oh man, this just changed the entire complexion of the race, Wesley.
Yellow flag, Ryan Heffley goes around in the Texaco colors entry, and here's your replay on LSR TV of what happened. Heffley at the bottom of the racetrack. To the inside, lap trucks in front of the leader. This is right after the leader had passed him. He got up and lost it on his own. Wow.
And now, Wesley, if you were one of those trucks who pitted early there, do you pit? Come in?
No.
Well,
heck no. No.
Dan West is. Dan West is. As is Jeff Stabnow.
Wow.
Yep, everybody's coming.
Boy, did they prove me wrong.
And here's the thing, this is not a bad idea because
they've only got, well, let's see here. They've only got what? They've got about 7-8 laps on this last green flag run for the leaders.
But we saw in the case of Stabnow and West, remember how much faster West was during that second run because of the tire fall off?
That's right.
5 laps difference.
That's right.
That was about 7 or 8 there. So what we saw between West and Stabnow, that would have been comparable to what we would have seen if someone had stayed out versus that. So I think this is the right move on everybody's part here
For sure.
to pit. And now the field's bunched back together. So now why not put on 4 fresh tires and see what you got for the 55?
I think you're right. I think you're exactly right. But I will tell you this, they're still going to have to pit again. 78 complete of 134 laps. There is still going to be at least another green flag pit stop if it goes to the finish. First caution finally out after an incident with the 62. Ryan Heffley will step away. Coverage continues with the Northwestern Truck Series presented by Waltz Beard Co. on LSR TV, your home of sim racing after a quick timeout. Lights off of the pace car. The one to go indication being, no, wait a minute. They are going to put the caution lights back on the pace car. And we will stay under yellow flag. So I guess something not right with timing and scoring or an issue. And they quickly called for the caution to come back out. I thought we were going to go back to green, but we are under yellow again. Lap 80 of 134. Greg, they needed this. They needed this caution flag.
The one person that didn't need a caution flag was that 55 of Dan West Jr. because he was setting sail and looking pretty right now. But everyone else needed that one. And Wesley, that worked out for the 33 of Dean Moore because he wasn't even back up to speed after pitting when that caution came out. He didn't have to pit. He
sure did.
Stayed back out there, and here he is leading the way.
Sure did. Dean Moore, only maybe 2 laps, if that, on tires and fuel as everybody else came to pit road. I was the one that said, okay, guys, he's going to be the one that'll, they're all going to stay on the racetrack. But of course, they proved me wrong. They all came to pit road led by Wes Stabnow and company. But Moore, again, only pitting a lap before the caution happened with Ryan Heffley's car in 62. And we'll set him up for the restart. Looks like timing and scoring likes what they see. Virtual style here at Auto Club Speedway. The lights will go off on the pace car this time by, and we will set him up for the restart here working lap 81 complete, working lap 82. And I still believe, Greg, they're going to have to pit again, whether it's a caution or another cycle of green flag pit stops. And do cautions bring cautions now as we get ready for green?
We'll see. That is the age-old adage when it comes to stock car racing. So let's see if that proves to be the case. You are definitely right. They no doubt are going to need to have one more pit stop. Question is, will it be under green? Will it be under caution?
Will it be green or will it be caution? Some of the awesome camera angles, the speed shots that are around the racetrack. One of the new updates, along with the new damage update, the new 87 Chevrolet and Ford North Wilkesboro Speedway, is also the shaking cameras. I love them. I love the flybys when they speed shot around the racetrack. Working lap 80 of 134. We're going to rest our voice again as they get ready to come back to green. From caution to full speed, feel the thunder with the Northwest Truck Series as we come back for a restart here at Auto Club. That sound, whether it's virtual or reality, and yes, reality is settling in across the country for that roar at tracks again. LSR TV coverage rolls on after the restart, and it's Dean Moore leading the way over Stabnow, who's moved second as they go to turn number 3.
Stabnow with a dive into the lead. Notice who has fallen back to 4th. Dan West Jr., fastest truck in town, in 4th, under pressure from Ottenbacher for 5th. Hello, Devin West in the 5. He's coming up as well. I'm not so sure we've seen the last of that 5 truck tonight, guys. That caution helped them.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Devin West was playing possum, so to speak, and now he's got an opportunity to be back in this battle for the top 5. He's just outside that spot in 6th as they come roaring back down the back straightaway. 84 of 134 here. 200 miles at Auto Club Speedway, and Stabnow leads them for the first time here tonight in the now nightfall closing in here in Fontana.
Stabnow leading the way. How about Chris White up there battling for 2nd right now with Dan West Jr.
Whoa!
Settled down.
Below the apron almost. That's Stabnow fighting and defending his spot. Here comes Dan West Jr. And he'll carry a flock of trucks with him in white, Moore and West. Sounds like a law firm as they roar off of turn 2.
Tyler King with a good run back there as well. He's kind of watching this all unfold in the 44, getting a good run now on Ottenbacher right now. They go single file, 3 and 4 that time. A little bit surprising there. We'll see how they pan out here off turn number 4. Dean Moore up there in the 4th spot after restarting in the lead. Dennis Moore has fallen back to 8th right now. He's kind of stuck behind us right now, trying to get himself back up in there. Devin West going with Dean Moore right now in the 33, trying to size up Chris White in the 83. Boy, what a run Chris White has had after qualifying 17th. Has fought his way back up to 3rd. Chris White must have something going on with that Ford, because ever since he made the switch from Ford to Chevy, it has been lights out for Chris White.
Greg, does it seem like since we came back off of that first caution since the green flag. These drivers have been on it. I mean, they're hitting that loud pedal, and they are really trying to get it. I mean, they're definitely, the racing's become more fierce.
Yeah, that caution really gave them a chance to settle down and reassess things, and then all of a sudden they realized, oh, hey, we're around 50 to go. Let's
battle for the lead.
Ooh, some contact
with Stabnow up the racetrack, and Dan West Jr. goes back to the lead.
That 55 is on a mission right now, Wesley, but he's got to be careful. He already used that fast repair, and bumping and grinding with Stabnow at 200 miles an hour, not exactly what you want to do here when you've already used the fast repair. West Jr. out to the lead. Devin West is creeping his way back up into the picture. He's up to fourth now, putting pressure on Chris White for the third spot with Dean Moore behind him. Devin West, ooh, he's going to pick up Stabnow here. Stabnow goes down to the apron. A little bit of a side draft there off of White by West. The younger West trying to get up there inside of Chris White, getting the run. He's going to get third and try to take second as well. Devin West nowhere near done.
To the inside, here comes Devin West trying to close in as they roar down the back straightaway. Racing getting intense here as we get closer to lap 100. Just under 40 plus laps to go. It's Dan West getting around Stabnow. Stabnow under attack by son Devin as they go to the inside.
White trying to figure out where he's going to go. He thought about squeezing the middle, but didn't have the run. Devin West is second at the line, but Stabnow coming fighting back on the outside, and that's something you see at this track a lot. That outside lane really gets a lot of momentum built through the tri-oval, and it allows you to get that run. But Devin able to clear Jeff Stabnow going through 1 and 2, and now trying to set his sights on his father and get himself back where he was before whatever that was happened on pit road.
The Ford F-150, one of the new trucks that just got released by iRacing a couple of weeks ago. That beautiful looking machine, Walt's Beardco, number 24. Leading the way is still West and West. The father-son are back at 1 and 2. Stabnow back in third. White and Moore, the top 5. Coming up on 10 laps to lap 100. 44 laps to go here at Auto Club. They're back in turn 1.
0.8 of a second between Devin West and his father Dan. He's trying to track him down. Remember, Devin was about the only truck that had anything for Dan in the 55. Those trucks so similar. I'd almost say they're on the same. I'm almost say they're on the same setup, Wesley, because those trucks have just been so equal all night long. Just it's a shame Devin got shuffled back there for quite a bit of time, but he's back up to second now, trying to catch back up to Dan. I would almost hazard to say they're on the same setup.
Back across the stripe, it is West. West, Stabnow, 1, 2, and 3. White is in 4th. Moore 5th. King, how about Terry King? What a good run for him in the number 6 position. Hockey player Ottenbacher in 7th. Moore, Paulison, Anderson, your top 10 right now. Working lap number 92 coming up when they cross the stripe. And there's another battle with Ottenbacher, King, Moore, and company battling inside the top 10 off turn 4.
Dennis Moore trying to go after Ottenbacher right now. He's taking the outside, trying to follow Tyler King, who's in turn following Dean. Dennis trying to get up there. Meanwhile, Devin up front shaved 0.2 of a second off of his father's lead, and he might be getting into that position now, Wesley, where he might be able to just barely grab a little bit of a draft off the rear of the 55 and pull himself right back up.
There is absolutely no way possible that they can go to the finish. They're gonna have to pit. The question is, will we see a final cycle of green flag pit stops as the money stop, or will we get another visit from the Banana Republic yellow flag and have to come to pit road? They cannot. The entire field, no way possible, can go to the finish here at Auto Club without making at least one more pit stop. Lap 93 of 134. It's the father-son West show off turn 2.
And Devin shaved another 0.2 off that time. It's under half a second now. Trying to reel in his father. Boy, what an incredible story Devin West coming back would be after something happened on pit road. We're not sure if it was a penalty or if he just elected to take the manual repair instead of the fast repair. We haven't gotten official word what the story was. Either way, he has had to climb his way back from a lap down and has worked his way now in the second spot, and he is the fastest truck on the racetrack.
Riding on board now with Stab now. No, that's Devin West. My apologies. Riding on board with Devin West, trying to reel in Daddy. 55-5, 1 and 2. This race had a long 45-lap run where it was father-son, and then Devin struggled on that first sequence of green flag pit stops, whether he got a penalty, speeding on pit road, or some type of a penalty, or again, as you've done the manual reset, then the free repair, and it cost him. He also overshot his pit stall box. So many mistakes and errors, you would think he would be done for. But with this sequence of green flag pit stops for the second time, followed by the caution for Heffley around the 70-lap mark, it has allowed Devin West to close in on Dan West, his father, as we work lap 95 of 134 here at Auto Club Speedway.
Dan was 0.3 faster than Devin that time. By side-by-side battle for third going on here as Chris White got a good run on Jeff Stabnow. They're not exactly losing ground to the West either. Chris White and Jeff Stabnow hanging in there. Two of the brand new Ford F-150s going to work on each other right now, and Chris is going to clear Stabnow and take the third spot away.
Back across the line here, it's still going to be West and West, 1 and 2. White waiting patiently. He's there in the inside. Stabnow for third. Stabnow, I've noticed, has fell back off a little bit, as we also see Ottenbacher, Moore, and King have a little battle, and Paulison in that battle again off the corner. Right there. And then you have Anderson and Grande having a battle for that spot outside the top 10 for 10th and 11th. But I was watching Stabnow in the 24 truck. There he is. And I've noticed he has lost ground to the leaders. He has really fell back, almost 2 seconds interval to the leaders. I wonder if he's playing possum, or he might have a handling problem on that 24 Waltz Beardco LSR TV4.
I'm not so sure Stabnow's truck is set up for the long run, Wesley. I think he was banking on a couple more cautions, because this happened last time too. He really started to fall off a few laps into the run. The guy I'm watching is John Ottenbacher in the 89. He's up to 5th. He's made a couple of moves to get around the Moors, trying to bring Tyler King with him, but he's stuck in the battle with the baseballs right now. But John Ottenbacher has done a great job getting up into the top 5. Good run for Ottenbacher now, as Tyler King behind him goes around. Was that the Nationals truck? Yes, the 33 of Dean Moore, as he's going to lose 2 spots there. Dean is, as both Dennis and King were able to get around him there. Move Dennis Moore to 6th, Tyler King now to 7th.
Got a strong piece here. West, Stabnow, Ottenbacher, and Moore, the top 5, as we are closing in on lap 100 here at Auto Club Speedway. Just under 35 laps to go, or just over 35 laps to go. As West.
Wesley, what do you expect them on pit road? Do you think they're going to pit at the end of this pit window, or do you think when the window opens to make it to the end, they'll go right then?
I think they're probably going to come to pit road between lap, oh my goodness, what do we say, 35, 40 lap green flag run before they got to pit. I would say they would probably,
right now.
Exactly, I would say they'd have to pit around about 110, around lap 110 to 115. That's when you'll see those final green flag pit stops, if we do not get a caution.
If we get a caution, that's going to make things very interesting, because we are just about now entering that window to make it to the end. I think it'll be this lap. It'll be 34, 35 laps to go. We're just now entering the window to make it to the end on one more stop. So, yeah, that's the thing. That's the decision you're going to have to make. Do you now, or try and stretch it?
And again, Greg, I still believe that they probably still have another 10 laps before they could actually make pit stops, as we have now hit lap 100, 34 laps to go here at Auto Club Speedway.
I would have to agree with you on that one. I think they can go another 10, maybe even 15.
15,
A little bit
that's
of extra
right.
help with caution. So I think you're going to see guys try to make it all the way, but I won't be surprised if you see guys start coming in maybe 5 laps or so to try to gain some advantage and see if they can catch a caution late and throw this off.
Well, they throw a caution. 3 words. This changes everything. 101 to 134 the distance. 34 laps to go here. Now make it 33 at Auto Club Speedway. Greg Rentz, Wesley Outland, Will Duvall, Cody Wooten on the broadcast coverage of the Northwestern Truck Series after a week hiatus off because of the new uploads and upgrades and downloads of the Week 13 iRacing update. We are back here tonight at Auto Club Speedway, virtual iRacing esports coverage on LSR TV, your home of sim racing. And one caution flag has stopped this race back in around the 70th lap when Ryan Heffley, who is now 4 laps down in the 62 truck, put out the caution after losing it on his own in turn 4. And since then, we have seen, I'm not saying that it's been per se a snoozer, because it's been a very interesting story to tell as we get ready to close in on father-son in 32 to go.
Yeah, it's been a good show between the Wests. And honestly, one of the more compelling things about this race has been watching Devin West claw his way back after being a lap down.
That's right.
He led much of the early race, had to claw his way back, and it has done a great job of it. 0.5 seconds back now from Dan. So right now, if you're Devin West, you're trying to think, do you want to pit at the same time as Dad? Do you want to pit before Dad? Do you want to pit after Dad? What would you do if you were in the second position, knowing that you're pretty much equal with the 55 of Dan West Jr.? If you're in Devin West's shoes, do you want to pit before him, after him, or on the same lap?
I would probably say you would want to pit with him, because if you pit before him, you're at a disadvantage of possibly running out of fuel if this thing goes longer green. If you pit after him, you're at a disadvantage, obviously, because you're not in sequence when he comes in. So I would say father and son would need to hook up and pit at the same time. And I got a feeling that that's exactly what they'll do. Bottom of the apron, 3 and 4. West and West, 1 and 2. White, Audenbacher, stacked now, the top 5 as we close in on what will be the money stop. The only question, will it be under caution or will it be green flag? And if they make it, this will obviously jumble up the entire scoring pylon in green flag pit stops like we've saw several times tonight.
We have our first taker, James Viney, last truck on the lead lap on pit road. The 333, the cat has behaved so far tonight on pit road for assumingly the final time, unless we get a late race caution. But pit road window is open, and yeah, this is what I talked about. Maybe cutting a short 5 laps. Look at that. Lap 104 on the board right now. James Viney cutting it a little bit short than where we could have gone to try to maybe gain a little bit of track position and see if he can catch a caution.
Anderson and Grande on pit road. They're inside the top 10 as well in 10th and 11th. So I told you it would be between lap 105 and 115. And again, I said 110 and 115, but we did say could they pit 5 laps before, and that's exactly what they're doing, right on the number. Could this be an advantage for those drivers? Here come the leaders.
We'll have to see the leaders stay out this time. Top 5 all staying out. Rest of the field looks like they are staying out this time by. So the trucks that have pitted so far, Grande, Anderson, and Vining, the trucks on the freshest tires right now. We talked about this may be a move that they do. Now we'll see if it works.
Now just 9 trucks on the lead lap with Paulison. He's on the pit lane along with Green and Harris. As West and West still 1 and 2. When do you come to pit road? You know they're gonna have to pit. There's no way that they can go to the finish. Probability is 0. Even if they tried to conserve fuel, cut back, it's gonna hurt them. I don't think they can go to the end. It's just a matter of when they come to the pits, Greg Rentz, to make it count. Here comes West on pit road.
Devin pitting before his father.
And with Tyler King.
All right, bold move by the 5. You mentioned that you thought they were going to pit on the same lap. Devin decided to go early to try to gain a little bit of track position. We'll see what Dan does. Dan's in turn 4. He's staying out, so Devin is going to have fresher tires for the time being, but once it's all cycled through, Dan will be on fresher tires than Devin. We'll see how that pays off.
White, Stabnow, Audenbacher, all on pit road as West and King exit. This is the trucks in 3rd, 4th, and 5th, giving up position. Cycling through this final segment of green flag pit stops as we about had a crash on pit road with White getting into Audenbacher. Stabnow creeping all the way behind the toe of the pace car to pit stall 1. The 24.
Here comes the leader. No, he stayed out. He faked me out. I thought he was coming down, but Dan West Jr. staying out once again. Dan West Jr. looked like he's stretching it all the way to the end of this run.
And remember, hey, let's remember something, Greg. Dan West Jr. has had problems entering and exiting pit road at the end of races before. Remember Charlotte, when he was trying to make a late race pit stop and he overshot the pit entrance, had to slow down, got on the binders, and spun out in the apron grass.
Happened again at Richmond.
Yes, cost them at Richmond. So you gotta wonder if that's going through his mind. It's right there. There's father-son. He's trying to put him a lap down, though. He's right now in 4th for Stabnow in West.
He's coming on pit road. We should note that that one at Richmond happened in the Cup Series, not the Truck Series. He dominated the Truck Series at Richmond, but he missed the pit road clean. See how
the Northwestern Racing Series has both the Cup Series on Monday night and the Truck Series on Thursday night. Cycle back around, and now Devin West will go to the lead as you have Dan West Jr. for the money stop on the pit lane. There's the man in 2nd. He was a lap down, but when he cycles back around, and I believe he will catch his father on the racetrack while Dan West is on pit road.
Yes, he will. He's going to come across the strike right now. Dan West Jr. just getting off pit road.
New leader.
Now.
Right now. Got him. New leader. There he is. There's the battle for 1st and 2nd. Are you kidding me? Could that have worked out any perfectly?
Unbelievable. So now we will see
father and son, and son father.
Now we'll see how much that tire wear comes into play here with the, what was it, 4-lap differential?
Yes, sir. At least 4 laps. And as I said, by lap 110, everybody has come to pit road. They're ready to go to the finish. And I love the cycle of pit stops. You know, Greg, I get to announce Cup Series events and truck events from time to time. And I love being up in the press box, and just like here where you see the cycle of the leader and everybody behind them sequencing, making their way around lap cars, lap trucks, and then you see this scenario. And this scenario came out perfectly. Devin West was on the outside of the leader of Dan West, his father, to go a lap down. He worked all the way around the racetrack, and right as his father was exiting off the racetrack, or exiting back on the racetrack from pit road, he caught up to son Devin. And now they are literally 3 seconds from one another to set the battle between father and son. Can Devin West use that advantage of 4 laps on his father but win here at Auto Club?
They were even that time by lap time wise, 3.08 seconds the gap. We'll see what it is this time. Devin leading the way, Dan 2nd, Jeff Stabnow back in 3rd, Chris White 4th, Caden Anderson back into the top 5 after his incident earlier today.
King in 6th, Moore in 7th, Audenbacher, good run for him in 8th. Paulison, how about Paulison in the 9th position, the 58 truck. John Paulison, happy for him. He's got a good run going for him virtually tonight. and
Talked
more.
about him all night.
Yes, sir. We ain't mentioned him and more. Right there in the 10th position. Devin Moore led earlier, or Dean Moore led earlier.
Yep, Dean led a couple laps earlier today in the 33. Dan West Jr. was 0.2 of a second quicker than Devin that time by. We'll see what it is this time as Devin comes across the strike. Coming up on 20 laps to go. Devin crosses the strike at 42.239. Dan West Jr. 42 lapped. So Devin West about 0.2 slower than his father. And that's what we were talking about there. That tire wear. Dan's going to catch him before the end of this run, I think.
Will father let son win, or will daddy take it to son to the woodshed, as they say on the virtual pavement course here at Auto Club? These two drivers, very respected on the must-see on the Northwest Racing program for both the Cup and the Truck Series. And as we work 19 to go now, West and West, 1 and 2. This scripture, you cannot paint a picture as it is the same scenario as we saw at the beginning of this race. We're seeing it now as we see Moore in 34 and King in 44 battle for that position. That is for 4th and 5th.
And we've talked about it a couple times. I want to do it one more time. Great run by Tyler King tonight.
Oh, for sure.
This is
in a pink truck. In a pink truck of all things.
Pink truck. Nothing wrong with that. But Wesley, Tyler King has had so many good runs in this series. Just hasn't had the results to show it because something always happens. He is trying to find his way into the top 5. This is so good for Tyler King to have a good run like this.
Laps are winding down again here at Auto Club. Late race caution. What do you think? Do you think we'll see it, Greg Rentz?
I don't know.
Highly unlikely, I feel.
We'll have to see how this one unfolds. We're inside 20 to go. Devin West continues to lead. It's now down to 2.1 seconds, and Wesley, Devin is in lap traffic.
And this is going to cost Devin West, where father can run down son. Mired in lap traffic to the outside. The Hooters, number 19, or the number 9 entry of Walters. Walters will scamper up the outside of the racetrack and get out of harm's way. And now you've also got the man that brought out the caution, Ryan Heffley, right there in front of the man for second of Dan West Jr. He'll clear him and go back and pick off lap vehicles one by one. And here's that thing that I always say, you know, Greg, there's a race. You're not in it. Get out of the way, lap traffic. But here's the thing. They're on the tail end of the lead lap. But you've got guys like Walters and Heffley are 2 and 4 laps down. Move out of the way. Let these guys run their race.
And hopefully they do. Walters giving West the space, but Walters is trying to fight back now to try to get that lap back. He is 2 laps down, so he's trying to get himself back 1 lap down. And what this is going to do, Wesley, is this is going to allow Dan West Jr. to close in even more, because now Devin is kind of unintentionally locked in a battle with Corey Walters. So now Devin's having to try to fend him off. This is allowing Dan to close up even more.
For sure, reeling him in.
3/10 faster that time, Wesley.
119 of 134. Got up on 15 laps to go here at Auto Club Speedway. And Dan West Jr. is closing in on his son, Devin. The interval 1.5 seconds and more. As they are closing in, still battling Walters. The lap truck is Devin West off the corner. 15 to go here at Auto Club.
Devin still feeling pressure from Corey Walters, who's trying to unlap himself. Third place, Jeff Stabnow is about 5 seconds back of this battle, and he's locked in the battle right now with Chris White, who has closed the gap on him. And Stabnow and White going off of the turn number 1 right now. They're locked in the battle for third. And that's another 4 back to Dennis Moore, who's again can't say enough about the Moors. They have done a great job in their debut race here tonight, but the battle right now is for third as White peeks to the inside just a little bit on Stab now. But Dan West Jr. in the 55 is closing on his son Devin. It was another 3/10 that time. They come across the line now, closing towards the finish. See what it is at the line. Another 3/10 of a second. Dan West Jr. is 3/10 of a second faster than his son Devin right now.
Watching this other battle ensue. That's between the 24 and the 83 for third. Jeff Stabnow and White off the back straightaway. Stabnow looked like he was going to be a man to beat there, but I'm telling you, the class of the field is the West family. Father and son have took it on the whip to the rest of the field here as West and West begin to battle. You got that lap track in the middle of Walters.
And it's another 3/10 faster. But now West Jr. is going to catch up to the back of them. This is where the difference comes in. Catching them is one thing, passing's another.
That's right.
You know Devin is not just going to lay over and say, "Yep, go ahead, Dad." Can guarantee you Devin is going to go all out here.
I think we're going to see an awesome father-son finish here. Shades of Bobby and Donnie Allison, or Dale Sr. and Dale Jr. in the real world of Cup racing. And the reality of here comes West.
Did you see the slide out of Dan West Jr. there?
That's right. Dan West Jr. got loose there. Walters scampers to the outside lane and clears the way for the West father. And he has reeled in now the leader like bait on a hook on a hot summer day here in the California. Here he comes down the front stretch, down the back stretch, and he has closed in with lap traffic still in the way, but Dan West Jr. is to his son on the outside, looking for a battle for the lead in 3.
Yep, we've got a battle breaking out for the lead. Dan West Jr. using the lap traffic as a pick to go after his son. But now he's on the back bumper, and now he's going to have to try to work his way around him. And Devin is not going to lay down. We'll see what move Dan does here. Boy, Dan West Jr. just sliced his way through Walters and Smith. No problem there. What's he going to try here? He's going to go outside for starters, but Devin's going to have a better run through 1 and 2. And here's another question. How much did Dan West Jr. use up? Well, question asked, question answered. Here he comes.
Look out, Gordon Ramsay. Hell's Kitchen's come to Auto Club with Dan West Jr. as he is annihilated through the field on a chopping block of pavement, picking him off with precise precision, 1 by 1, picking him up, putting him down. And now father, son, 1 and 2. Walters, the lap truck, is still trying to stay there, but here comes Daddy West to the inside, giving back the lead on lap number 125 with 10 to go here at Auto Club.
Devin not going away though, but into turn number 1, Dan with the lead. Watch the crossover as Devin goes to the inside. Remember, 4 lap difference on the tires, and we saw just how much that means right now. Dan going back though is Devin to the inside. They are drag racing into turn number 3. Irwindale's drag strip not too far away. They also have a half-mile oval, which is where I grew up, but Devin leading the way at the big track right now.
Irwindale Speedway, cross the line here at Auto Club. 9 laps to go. West and West at the stripe. This time it goes back to the sun.
1/100th of a second, the margin there between Devin and Dan. Devin's going to clear him there. Dan may have gotten a little bit loose and pushed up the track a little bit. Devin able to open up a little bit of a lead now.
Father, son, West family down the back straightaway. It started this way in the opening, 40 laps? A penalty or something happened on Devin West. Dan West took advantage of it, and then he rallied and came back through the field. One caution has stopped this whole event back on lap 72 with an accident involving the 62 of Ryan Heffley, who's on the pit lane again, 5 laps down. And West and West side by side again for the lead. Here comes Son on the bottom. He'll make it work.
How is Devin West doing this right now? 4 lap difference on the
crossover.
Crossover by Dan. And look at Corey Walters not going away either. Could Corey Walters affect the outcome of this?
Father West on the inside. Lap traffic still in the battle with Walters. Corey Walters. Got to make you think, if his truck wasn't, 2 laps down, could he be a contender fighting with these leaders for victory? As he's right there battling with them in the Hooters number 9, bottom of the apron. Below the white line is Dan West Jr. Father back over Son West, back to turn 1, and under 7 laps to go.
Keep your eyes on the 5, see if he can get a run. I think he's too far back to get a run this time, and that lap differential is really going to start affecting him now. Look at the run Dan got off of turn number 2. They're able to pull away. And Devin's trying to use the draft of Walters to help get back up there because those tires are just so much more abused. Those 4 laps on this bumpy track surface just eats those tires alive, trying to fight back now. But Dan West Jr., I think, may have just made the winning pass.
West, it's stabbed now. And one of the things we noticed also, Greg, is we're under the 6 laps to go here at the stripe. West have pulled away, battling for the lead. Father-son, Stab now has lost ground on them. The interval almost 6 seconds back for third.
Walters trying to push up on West.
Dan West Jr. has cleared Devin. Walters, lap traffic in the way. Gotta wonder though, Greg, do you think that Devin is saving his equipment to make that late rally with under 5 laps to go this time by at the start-finish line?
We'll see, but those tires, I think that might just be too much to overcome for Devin. What a charge though he has put on today after falling a lap down, going into God mode basically for the number 5 of Devin West to come out and rally back to second, lead for a while. But Dan West Jr., those 4 laps less on those tires is going to be the difference here tonight, I think.
The virtual battle of father and son continuing on here as it's been those 2 trucks, the classes of the field, with Stab now a distant third. A couple of other notable mentions would also be the Moore drivers. They've made a very interesting appearance tonight in 34 and 33. Right now, 7th and 6th and 7th position for those trucks, making in my first ever debut seeing them. And they've done really good, Greg.
They have done fantastic.
4 to go.
Yeah, 4 to go here. Dan West Jr. leading the way right now and pulling away 0.8 of a second last time by. See what it is this time.
There's that battle again for third with Jeff Stab now in white, Chris Wine in the 83. Sizing each other up, back, looking, creeping, crawling, inside and outside. White trying to get around Stab now. And I'll say this much, Greg, as we come to 2 to go next time by. Stab now third. He's been consistent with his finishes the last couple of weeks, and that helps you in the quest of running for a championship.
He has, but he's still under heat right now from Chris White in the 83, who's trying to go to the inside once again, going into turn number 3. 2 Fords battling it out for the 3rd and final spot on the podium. Looks to be, unless something drastic happens in the next 2 laps, that we will see a Ford on the podium in its debut race.
2 to go.
2 to go.
Sliding, slipping was stabbed now in white. That battle continues. The best battle for 3rd, for podium spot P3, for P1, for the victory. It's right now Dan West Jr. leading as there's that 3rd place battle again between Stab now and white. But now we come to it. The white flag will come in the air this time by. The leader is the number 55 of Dan West Jr. As again, we showed this race for 3rd, best battle. But nonetheless, the white flag is in the air. 1 more lap to go, and it's all Dan West Jr. at the line.
West Jr. putting on a clinic tonight. What a dominating performance by West Family Racing. I think they led just about 90% of the laps. We had a couple different drivers get a couple turns up front, but man, oh man, Dan West Jr., Devin West, far and away the two fastest trucks in the field tonight. And
Final time down the back straightaway into turn number 3. It is Dan West Jr. for also Team LSR TV on LSR TV. Will come out of turn number 4. What a show for father and son, reality or virtual. The West family 1 and 2 for the Northwest Truck Series at Auto Club Speedway. Third place for Stabnow over White. Audenbacher will take the top 5. Greg, the West Show. We'll remember that here tonight on the West Coast virtual style of iRacing Esports here from Auto Club Speedway.
Unbelievable effort by Dan West Jr. His son Devin coming up to give him a little bit of a tap, and it looks like we may be getting our demo derby started early. Nope, they save it. Man,
I'm hearing fireworks shooting off as the rest of the field crosses the start-finish line. What a celebration for father and son. You know, I talk about reality. I talk about the Daytona 500 or Twin Ring Motegi when Earnhardt Jr. and Earnhardt Sr. raced together. You talk about reality of the Waltrips brothers racing, Michael and Daryl in NASCAR. You talk about the West family here for the Northwestern Truck Series and what they've done tonight. The Allisons, remember the 500 in the 80s where Davey and Bobby Allison, father and son. And another great storied chapter here tonight for virtual. But what a performance by Dan West Jr., who honestly, Greg, was the class of the field. But Devin West, a comeback for the ages, and he gets second spot, and he gave Daddy a run for the money.
How many wins on the season is that for Dan West Jr. in the Truck Series? This has been his series. Four, maybe 5. This is unbelievable what he has done in this series over the last 2 years. Oh! Who was that? That was Jeff Stabnow sending West for a ride.
Let the virtual demolition derby begin on the front tribal grass of Auto Club Speedway. As you see the pylon and the views, everybody coming back down the pit road. Well, let's take a look at the unofficial results of this round of the Northwestern Truck Series tonight, presented by Waltz Beard Co. Dan West, the winner. He gets the victory. Dan West Jr., what a performance for the driver of the 55. Jeff Stabnow will finish in second, or third, over the West family, Dan and Devin. Chris White, fourth, with a great battle of Stabnow for the third, but just couldn't get him for the podium. Audenbacher, right there, rounding out the top 5. Then you've got Moore, the Moore clan. They put on a great show, loving baseball to boot for Braves in Nationals. Tyler King, Pink 44, great performance for Paulison. And the Catman, James Vining, will finish in the top 10. What a run for him.
Caden Anderson comes home in the 11th spot. Disappointing night for him, no doubt, after having a good truck, but having that accident happen midway through the race really stalled his momentum out. Final truck on the lead lap was the 18 Taco Bell, Roy Grande, coming home in the 12th position. Tom Green, unlucky 13, 1 lap down, with Stephen O'Hare also caught up in that accident with Anderson, 1 lap down in 14th. Corey Walters, 15th, was up there trying to hang on to the West family near the end of that, with Frank Harris, Kevin Smith, Rick Heffley, Ryan Maines, and William Fletcher rounding out the top 20.
And when it's said and done, a father-son battle for the ages. What a show they put on. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it's the Clan Wars servers post-race wrap-up here with the Northwestern Truck Series on LSR TV, your home of sim racing. Back here at Auto Club Speedway, Greg Rance, Wesley Outland. It is the Clan Servers post-race wrap-up here. Clan Wars Servers, again, the official server company of LSR TV. The Northwestern Truck Series, presented by Walt Spirit Co., has wrapped up. Top 3 finishers ready to roll. We're going to talk to our third-place driver. Greg, I'll ask a question. You ask a question. Third place to the driver, the number 24 LSR TV Walt Spirit Co. entry, Ford of Jeff Stabnow. Jeff, you're on the podium. You held off wide at the finish, but man, the West family, they were strong tonight.
Yeah, the West family was strong. I thought we had a good chance of giving them a fight tonight, but we ended up loading up the wrong set there after qualifying, and after about 7 or 8 laps, this thing was just plowing so bad that it was just a fight finish up front there. I don't know how I held off Chris there at the end, but given what we were running there, I'll take it, man. It felt like a win.
Jeff, we noticed that you switched over to Ford here tonight. What brought the change on? Because you've typically been all Chevy in the series.
Well, they didn't have the Ford in the trucks, so you know, the trucks have been the staple here for you know, the trucks have been the series that we've always had, whether it was an Xfinity or Cup series to go with it. So they didn't have the Ford. We didn't run the Fords, but now that they got them, we'll be running some Fords going forward here, and hopefully we'll get Ford a win here one of these days.
So the battle of bow tie and oval in real life again continues here in the world of virtual racing now. A third place run for Jeff. Jeff, get it ready to go for the Cup Series on Monday night. We'll see you back here at Auto Club.
All right, thanks, guys.
Third place for Jeff Stabnow. And by the way, it is a Team LSR TV top 3 finish. Third place finisher P3, Jeff Stabnow. Runner up in the event is Devin West. Devin in the number 5 entry. Devin, what happened in the first sequence of pit stops, and what was it like rallying to get back through the field and battle Daddy for second?
Yeah, I think that first stop might have been the worst one I ever had in my entire life. I didn't even come close. I was going probably 80 when I entered. So at that point, I mean, Auto Club was my favorite track, so I came into this week pretty excited, pretty happy to be here. Felt like I had a good chance to get a win. And so when that happened, I definitely got my hopes down a little bit. And I was on probably the next 35 laps, just running as hard as I could to get off the steam on my head. So, and that caution came out, and it was a big momentum change. So, yeah, I think everything worked out in my favor, and I couldn't really have asked for it to go any better.
Devin, talk to us a little bit about what happened there on pit road, because we weren't sure what happened, if you got a penalty or if you had taken a manual repair. What happened there on that first pit stop?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I took a fast repair there because me and my dad both on the wall. Just pushing a little too hard in the first run. And I also, like I said, was in about 80 going to the pit. So that was definitely less than ideal.
Well, buddy, we'll talk to you again next week. Good run for you to overcome what bad luck you had and finish second. I'm happy for you. We'll see you Monday for the Cup event.
Thank you, guys. Sounds good.
That is Devin West, again, runner-up here. And again, Team LSR 1, 2, and 3 on LSR TV as we continue the Clan Wars Servers post-race. And let's go to Victory Lane virtually with Dan West Jr. Dan, wow. What a show. What's it like battling father-son virtual style, like I was painting the picture of so many great battles of the Allisons and the Waltrips and the Earnhardts in reality, and you had a great moment here, father-son. It's virtual, but, I mean, it's special.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was pretty bummed when he had that pit road penalty there, because it just made the race go by so fast, sitting back there and being able to do the crossover with him. And both trucks were really good. We both were running just a little bit different setup. He was running something a little bit tighter, and I think that was hurting him towards the end. I had something with a little bit freer setup in it, and but it was a blast. I'm very proud of him to get second, especially to be able to hold his composure and get it back up there.
Dan, when you caught the wall there, we weren't sure what was going to happen with you and Devin, but you seemed to really make it work all the way to the end there. We took note that it didn't really seem to slow you guys down any. Did that hit to the wall before you took the fast repair have any effect on the truck whatsoever?
Yeah, the straightaway speed slowed down. That's when I just tucked in behind Devin, as you noticed. I just tried to, tuck in with him and use the aero to try to get as much speed as we could. And unfortunately, when we pitted together, I was hoping to come back out together, but with his pit road speed and penalty, didn't happen. But yeah, that damage wasn't good, so I had to use my fast repair.
And now, Dan, let's go to the last pit stop. You talked about the bad luck that Devin had on the first go around. The last pit stop, he pitted a couple of laps before you did, and it was a perfect sequence. Like, you literally came down to pit road, put your son a lap down, he cycled all the way back around, and when you exited off the racetrack, you were literally a half a second to a second behind him. You couldn't have painted that any better.
No, and I was a little worried. I mean, we had, I don't think it was something like 18 laps left to go, but I was a little concerned because his truck was better on fresh tires. So, I didn't want to push it too hard, but I knew I had to give it all I had. But unfortunately, his truck did tighten up, and I was able to get around him.
Well, we'll get ready for Auto Club for the Cup Series. You have been on the rail in the Cup Series for sure. We'll see what you can do at Auto Club tomorrow night.
Thanks, guys. I'd like to thank LSR TV, Wesley, Greg, great job tonight. And I'd like to throw a shout out to Jeff Stabnow. He puts Saturday night shows together to build some shared setups, and that setup was a shared setup that was slightly modified by Devin and I. So he gives us a really good base for us all to start out on, and it showed. Thank you.
Well, we'll definitely, again, a top 3 finish for Team LSR TV for the West family. Dan West Jr., Devin West, and Jeff Stabnow, again, 3rd place. Greg, your thoughts as we wrap it up here tonight and prepare for the Northwestern Cup Series race from Auto Club on Monday. Always a pleasure working with you.
It was a great performance here, Wesley, by the West family, and just such a great race. And it was great to see the drivers keep it clean pretty much all night. Only one caution, and it was just a single car slide. It was a great race here at Auto Club, and yeah, just very impressed with how this whole race went down.
And we'll get ready for the Northwestern Cup Series again. That, again, will be coming up on Monday night, right here from Auto Club Speedway. And we'll prepare for the next round of the trucks. Where are the trucks at next Thursday night, Greg? Darlington, from where the next Gen Challenge Series was at tonight. What a race that was. So we're going to wrap it up and get on out of here. Thank you for joining us again. Thank you to all of our sponsors, including for the Northwestern Truck Series, Waltz Beard Co., the Clan Wars Servers post-race wrap-up, and again, LSR TV, your home for sim racing. Awesome work on production by Will Duvall, producer and executive producer of Cody Wooten. For Greg Rentz, I'm Wesley Outland. Thank you for joining us. And as always, continue to pray for our country. God bless.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSR TV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSR TV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.